we started about 4 years ago, I guess. We have 2 CDs and 1 EP out, and technically I used to be in Norma Jean. Some people are interested about that, I guess. And today and today only, you can ask any and all questions that you want. A lot of interviews we do, like,
here's David's.
We'll sort of make a rule, like, no Norma Jean questions. I love Norma Jean. I love those dudes. We all do. We all hang out very well, very much. Whenever we're not on the road and they're not on the road. So there's no bad blood, but it's just kind of funny, when you're moving forward and doing something else, and people are like, asking like 3 of the questions are about Norma Jean, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in another band technically that is playing tonight called the Chariot. So, but again, today, you can ask whatever you want. I guess the number 1 question I always get, no matter what, is why did I leave Norma Jean? And so I'll go ahead and start with that. There's no real cool answer in the sense of cool being like a really cool fight or anything like that, like some knockdown, drag out fight or anything. It actually it was a very spiritual thing. It was just something I felt like sort of led by the Lord to do, and hopefully it's something everybody can kind of relate to. If not, then that's cool too. I guess in life, I'm not so sure you're supposed to always take the easiest road, and so I feel like with anybody's life, Christian or not, you should always sort of think and in our case pray about like kind of where you're supposed to go and what the next steps are in your life, mostly on kind of a day-to-day basis, but and in doing so, I just really felt like it was sort of my time to sort of walk away, and I don't know if it was a test, like the Lord started the band through me, and then sort of like, is it something you can walk away from, or whatever the case is. But either way, it was a very peaceful thing, and it was very cool. When I walked away, I made sure they knew that, if they ever needed me, let me know, and if they couldn't find a singer, I would totally be there for them. And just last year, actually, they called, their singer had like messed up his voice or something, and they were in Mexico, and we just happened to be off, and so they called me. It was like, you want to fill in on this Mexico tour? And I was like, sure. So the very next day at about noon, I was on my way I have 2 iPods, and both of them were charged in full, and I was just listening to Norma Jean songs constantly, trying to get the lyrics down to all the the new stuff that I didn't write with them and stuff. So so it's a very simple answer. It's basically I just sort of felt like it was what I was supposed to do, and I think there's a lot of people out there that may not understand that, because like again, they would think, well, wouldn't the easiest thing in the world be just to stay with the Jeans? And it's like, well, yeah, but that's not necessarily always the right road to take, and so hopefully everyone is stoked, because now there is the Chariot. So so that's that question. I don't know. I'm sure there's other questions that we get asked all the time, but I can't think of them. But either way, I just want you to rest assured that Scorpion Tone, that you can ask any question, and we won't be like bummed or weirded out or nothing like that. So so that's our introduction. Any questions? We did this once before, and the guy that was sort of kind of hosting it was like, talking their language, the Chariot, any questions? And nobody had any questions, so we just sort of sat up here for that really awkward length of time where you have to like make sure everybody has their chance, Any? No, and then all of a sudden it gets just awkward enough that you go, okay, well, and then the guy finally asked us a question, and I guess all of our hair was dyed like bleached at the time. I don't really know why, it just sort of happened that way. So the only question that came out of 4 years of writing music and a past with Norma Jean and everything else was, why are you guys all blonde? And I didn't really know how to answer that, so we just sort of poked fun a little while, and then it was over. So it's kind of awkward, kind of weird, kind of harmless, but maybe there's something, lyrics or something.
Yeah, I have a lot of lyrics questions, but one.
All right.
If there's blood on the roots, there's blood on the branches. What does that mean?
I get really lengthy when I talk about anything, so I'll try to keep it pretty short. They can attest to that. I tell the most boring, long stories. But blood on the roots, blood on the branches. Long story short, what's on the inside will come out. I like the use of.
And this is just kind of what we do, you know. And like Josh was saying, it's kind of hard not to do anything else but do that, you know. Even when we're having like a bad day or whatever, once you get up there and you start playing, it's like that's what happens, you know.
And it's fun, you know. We have. I know we have fun with it, you know. I mean, anyone that knows us for longer than 10 minutes knows we're not serious dudes, you know. On stage is probably the most serious we ever get, but even still, I mean, there's little things that we just have fun with, you know, and just every night's so spontaneous. It's funny because in the States, we'll play like a pretty big place in certain areas, and there'll be a lot of kids in it, but then the very next day it might be a small place, and so every night's different. It's not like across the board you have huge stages, or across the board you have small. Every night's different, so you just kind of try to keep it fresh for yourself, and I think that you know, I think trying to keep it fresh for yourself and trying to not get into sort of the every single night when this part comes up I'm doing this, and you just sort of keep it fresh, and it's really funny. It's fun for us, you know, and then hopefully that translates to the people watching, because I know at the end of the show I'll just be hanging out and I'll hear something that he did, and I'm not able to obviously watch everybody and what they do, and I'll just hear something that he did and I'm just like, are you serious? You did that? Like, blows my mind. And of course when your adrenaline's done and the music's not playing, you're just like, you're an idiot. I can't believe you did that, you know. But with the adrenaline there and the music there and the push and the, you know, I mean, you might do the same thing. You just it's really surreal, you know. But
we like to talk about things that people would have to pay us to do that we do for free.
Dude,
at shows, because you're just so excited, like jumping around doing stuff. We're like, man, we wouldn't even. No one could pay me money to do that again, like in real life.
dude, bonus story, bonus time. Can I tell it? I'm sorry, I don't want to. This doesn't have to do with the show. This is bonus. So you get this for free. So last night, dude. Last night, this dude goes to jump in the van. Sorry. And he goes to jump in the van, and he like backs up, and what he wants to do is just jump in the van with no hands, just, you know, like Dukes of Hazzard style or something. And so he just goes for it, man, full force, you know. Boom! All of a sudden, next thing we know, he just rams his head in the top of the van in a very, very painful manner. And the curse of my life is that I cannot see something like that and not laugh. I feel for him. I love this dude. I love, you know, my friends, but I'm just trying not. And you know, the first thing you want to hear is people just laughing when you just rammed your head full force, mind you. Like,
it sounded like a baseball bat.
Seriously, I thought someone had threw a baseball bat at our van. So the van just goes boom, you know, like that. And so he's doing that like hard rub thing that you do, you know, and you like hit your head and you're just rubbing it real hard. And you don't know why, but that's the only thing you want to do. And I'm like biting my finger, like just trying not to make it known that I'm laughing. And we're all like in the middle of laughing. We're like, you okay? trying to like be there for him. And he's doing that like walk around head rub thing, and oh man, and it just lasted for so long. But anyway, all that to say, kind of backing up his point, you would never, like, if someone was like, dude, I'll give you $100 to just ram your head in this van, you would never do it. But he just did it for free. And, like, didn't get any money at all. It just rocked our world, rocked his world. And it was awesome. And that's just sort of to back up his comment, because I've definitely, you know, you're just in the moment, you're in the mode, you just sort of take off, you run, you jump out in the crowd, and all of a sudden you're just back first on the ground. And I definitely have done that in the past, and you're just like, man, that didn't happen at all the way I sort of thought it through in my head for the one split second I was able to think. And And you just think about, like, you know, a stage this high, like if someone offered you money to just leap off that straight on your back, you would never do it. And here you are just doing it for free, for nothing. And all these kids, you know, everybody's looking at you like you're an idiot, like, oh, that must have hurt, you know. And you're like,